Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and happy birthday to Fast Sandals. Fast Sandals is Timotab's son, and it's his birthday today, which is fabulous news. So happy birthday, Fast Sandals. Now, this is, I believe, his first published puzzle on Logic Masters Germany, but Timotab sent it to us saying, I am credited in the title, but honestly, he did most of the work, and I'm sure that's true. We'll have a look at this in a moment. Now, our worms are out, and don't forget to check them out. A couple of the worms have been released. They're by James Sinclair and Marty Sears, of all people. They're on our apps, so if you're either on AppStore or Google Play, go to the CTC app, and you will find them. If you upload it again or refresh it, you'll find them there as possible paid content. Now, I say paid, it's not very much. It's $1 a piece. And the Marty Sears one is 9 6x6 puzzles. The James Sinclair one is 6 9x9 puzzles. Of course, in your head, you've worked out there are more digits in the James Sinclair one. Well done. But anyway, those are available now, and there are all, of course, of the other apps, many of which are on the CTC app, some of which predated that and have their own app status. And on Steam, they're all separate. Follow the links under the video if you're interested. The latest regular app is Fog of War, of course, but loads of content. We're always trying to bring you extra content, and Patreon is another place where we do it, where the latest patron reward is live. It's by Itrio. It's called Yin Yang Journey. The compliments are off the scale. It's not easy in the latter stages, but it is doable, pursuable, and great fun. There's even a story attached, so you could just read that. Now, that's on Patreon, where there's also crosswords and connections videos, and new connections video this weekend, Friday. And loads going on, as always. And there's our merchandise and SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD linked under the video. But the first link is to this puzzle. It's called Medieval World War, and it's by Fast Sandals and Timotab, but mostly Fast Sandals. And the rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. Now, we have fortress cells in grey. So a cell shaded grey must have a larger digit than any of its white orthogonal neighbours. So this digit will be at least, well, never mind what it'll be at least. It's going to be more than each of those four. I'm not great at fortress, but we'll see how it goes. Arrows. Digits on an arrow must sum to the digit in the attached circle. So those three will add up to that. Simple set of rules, which is great. That's what we like to feature on the channel as often as we can. Let's see how we go. You can try it on that link under the video. You can judge, perhaps, from the video length, how hard it is. I'm going to start, I don't know why, here. This arrow, 3 different digits. They add up to at least 6, because they must be 1, 2, and 3. So I can put 6, 7, 8, or 9 there. I could actually do that in that cell as well. Here we may not have 3 different digits, and here, well, we're going to have at least a pair of different digits there and a pair there, so I'm going to put 6, 7, 8, 9 in this circle as well. 1, 2, 1, 2 would give 6, or indeed a drill sergeant's instruction. Now, here, what I was going to do was remark that this cell is a bit limited. In fact, we cannot have 6 here, because this would have to be the 3 out of a 3, 2, 1 set. But then what digit could you put here that would be lower than that 3? Impossible. So this group of cells adds up to at least 7. This is the highest digit amongst them from its position on this arrow. So it's got to be at least 4 now. 4, 5, or 6, I reckon there. And that was why I started there, because I could sort of see that coming. And then I get a bit stuck about what to do about the rest. Oh, no, I don't. This cell has to be higher than this. This is why I'm terrible at Fortress. I don't see this sort of thing. This is 9 or 8, and this can't be 9 anymore. This is 7 or 8. That can't be 6, and there's definitely a 1 on the arrow. Actually, look, we've got, this is a fortress cell sitting next to that and that. So let's take 9 out of there. This is more than that. This is 8 or 9. And now we've got a pair, an 8-9 pair in the row, and that must be 7. And its arrow must be 1, 2, 4. So we've worked out what to do with that. 1, 2 on the fringes, 4 in the middle, and this digit now has only one possible fill. That's a 3. That's a lovely start. Okay. Now it gets quite interesting here in row 3. Row 3 is the absolute key to this puzzle, I reckon. This digit has to be higher than this, but what's the minimum this can be? 1 and 2 there, and another 1 here, adds up to 4. I'm going to put 4 or 5 in the circle, so this can be higher at 5 or 6. Remember, we've used up 7, 8, 9 in the row. And now this arrow has to be confined. There's 1 degree of freedom from that base minimum that I laid out. 1, 2 there, and 1 here would be 4. And we can go up to 5. So this could now be 1, 2, or 1, 3 as a pair, and this digit could be 1 or 2. And that gives me a 1, 2 pair in the column, which I can't really use at the moment. Right, this has come down from the maximum 9 because of this fortress cell. This is 6, 7, or 8. And these 2 digits can't be 3 or 4. Could we allow a 5 into them? If we allowed a 5 or anything higher into them, these would be at least 1, 5 there, 1, 2 there. That adds up to 9. So this must now be a 1, 2 pair. Now I've got a 1, 2 pair in box 5, and this digit can't be 1 or 2. So that's at least, well, I was going to say at least 3, and then only put 3 and 4 in the cell. Or maybe 3, 4, 5. But I've suddenly realised that this could be an 8, made up of 6 plus a pair of 1s. Oh no, it can't, because I'd forgotten this cell. Right, these add up to at least 3. This can't be 6 or 5. So I was right. My subconscious knew that that was going to be 3 or 4, but my brain didn't follow it. And I think this is down to 1 or 2. If the minima applied here, 1, 2, 3, that would be 6. This could still be a 2. That's the most it can be, though. So we've got a 1, 2 pair in the row. We've got all sorts of 1, 2 pairs going on in the puzzle. Don't quite know what they give us elsewhere, but it's probably something. That's the sort of helpful remark that a useless Sudoku solver host would make. Now, these, this cell again is poised next to a fortress cell, so it can't be 9. Now we need a 1 on this arrow, 6, 7, or 8 in that circle. And these 3 are all different. Once you have 3 cells that are different and you're adding up to less than 9, you always need a 1. Do you always need a 2? There may not be any point, but I'm going to start colouring these 1s and 2s against each other, yellow and red, just to see where we end up. Red, yellow, red. We do end up in an interesting place. This digit can't be 1 or 2 because it sees both colours. So the 1 on the arrow is in one of those. This is at least a 3. If we could say it was at least a 4, we could confine these digits to 1s, 2s, and 3s. Now, have we got any more of these very helpful fortress cells next to an arrow circle? I think we've looked at them all. Oh, this can't be 6 anymore because that's at least 3. 3, 4, 7. So that is 7 or 8. I mean, we've nearly pushed this digit up to being a 9, but we haven't quite achieved that. This is higher than that, so this is 7, 8, or 9. Oh, this arrow digit can't be 1, 2, 3, or 4. This is at least 5. Now that's going to narrow down what this can be, isn't it? I suppose there's still a 4 maximum here. I thought we were going to go lower. If that was a 5, you could get a 4 in here for a 9 in the circle. So I thought we were going to maybe get a red cell here because it was going to have to be really low, but I was way off beam with that. This one can't be 1 or 2, and this one can't be 1 as well because there's definitely a 1 in one of those cells. So this is at least 3 and that's at least 2. It's not that helpful. But these 4 cells maybe are going to sum to the total of these 2. They must add up to at least 10. I don't think that's really telling me anything I didn't know before. Oh, this is not quite a naked single. It's going to form a pair though. Right, what can this not be? And the answer starts with 987 and carries on with 1, 2, 3, 4. So this cell is 5 or 6. That's now a pair, and this digit has to be a 4 in the row. And that's good. That has taken away the degree of freedom. We have a 1, 2 pair and a 1 here. And that sorts out my colouring. Yellow cells are 1s, red cells are 2s. And I think because we've stuck 2 reds that are now 2s on this arrow, that's taken away the degree of freedom here. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5. That's going to have to be 3 there and 8 in the 8 in the circle, 9 in the fortress, 8 in that one. Now, this fortress can't be 9 or 8. That's not so helpful. This can't be 8 anymore. This can't be 1 or 3. Right, the minima here are 2 and 5, making this at least 7. That 1, 2 pair's not been resolved. Oh, but where does 1 go in this row? It doesn't go in this box where there's a 1, 2 pair. It's got to go here. Now, this digit is at least 3. We knew that before. This is 4, 5, 6, or 7. We've got to add 2 digits, one of which is at least a 3. There, we've taken 8 out of these circles since we put it in the box. Now, can that be a 6 with a 1, 2, 3 in the circle? Yes, it probably can. Oh, well, it's got, okay, there are definitely a 1 and a 2 on the arrow because the circle is 6 or 7. And 6 requires a 1, 2, 3 arrow and 7 requires a 1, 2, 4. This digit, this cell can't hold either of the 1 or the 2. So they must be a pair in these, and the 1 there is telling us which way round they go. This reminds me that I don't really need the colouring I did on 1s and 2s anymore, helpful as it was. Now I've got 1, 2 and 3 to place in row 3, and the choices are getting narrowed but not completely. This pair is at least 3 plus 4 equals 7. Could be as much as 4 plus 5 equals 9 though. That's not getting me anywhere. This digit is at least a 3, and this one, this could be a 2. Now, I don't quite see how to get that finished. 3 must appear in one of these 2 cells in box 4, and one of those in box 6. Now, the digits up here are from 5, 6, and 9. We can't put 9 here next to that fortress cell, so we know where 9 is in box 2. There it is. This now can't be less than 5 or 6. So I'm taking 4 and 5 out. That is 6 or 7. And the possible deductions here are 7 minus 2 gives 5, 6 minus 3 gives 3. The other 2 possible deductions both give 4, which is impossible. So this is 3 or 5. And I don't think this can be 3 anymore, weirdly. Actually, yes, I said that one of the possible deductions was 6 minus 3 equals 3. And although that is a valid mathematical deduction, it is not a possible answer to this arrow. So 3 can't go here. I don't think 3 can go in either cell. Hang on a second. Am I losing my mind here? If 3 went here, this would have to be 3 or 4 to make that right. And if 3 went here, that would either have to be a repeat 3 or a 2 which adds up to the wrong digit. So neither of them is 3. That's 5 and that's 2. That 2 comes out of there. Now, this arrow now can't have 1, 2 or 5. I think it's either 3, 4 or 3, 6. If you didn't have a 3, you'd have at least 4 and 6. That's too many. So there must be a 3 on the arrow and it must be there. This one is 4 or 6. If that's a 7, that's 6, that's 4. If that's a 9, that's 6, that's 7. So one of these two is 6. This digit, oh, this is lower than the fortress cell, but it's also got a lot of things ruled out. 982154. So that's 3 or 6. It can't be a 7 because of the fortress. In fact, sorry, if I bothered to add up 5 and 2, I could fill in the fortress cell. There we go. Now down here we've got 3, 4, 5 and 6. This one is 3 or 4 on this 6 or 7 arrow. This one is bigger than both of these, so it can't be 3 or 4. And this one is on an arrow. It can't be 6 anymore. It's on an arrow adding to a number that's not allowed to be 1 or 3. We could still get away with a 4 in this cell. Actually, or a 5 or a 6. Oh my goodness. Okay, that wasn't as constrained as I thought. Ah, the 9 at the top is looking at that circle. So that's going to take 7 out of this cell and 4 out of this one. This becomes a definite 2. Now this digit can't be 1, 2 or 3. So I am now filling in 4, 5, 6 as possibilities. Has to be lower than this fortress, so it's not 6. So we're getting very constrained, but not resolved. This digit is 7, 8 or 9, given the cells on its arrow. The last arrow we'll be really looking at. I mean, we've still got that to finish off, but nothing else. Could it be a 4, 5 pair? If there's a 5 on this arrow, then that 5 sees this cell and makes it a 6 and puts an 8 there. If there isn't a 5 on this arrow, oh, I was going to say it's a 3, 4 pair and that's a 7 and this is still an 8. But I mustn't forget the possibility of that being a 4, 4 pair and that being an 8. So a little note of caution for myself. Okay, let's focus on this column finally. 8 has to get in it. 1, 2, 3, 5. I don't know. Maybe that's not the column to focus on. I'm getting thrown around the puzzle a little bit here. 3, 4. I've got this fortress, this one, and this one still to go. And I am, remember, still terrible at fortresses. The fact that this digit sees 1, 2, 3, and 4 is of no consequence. It always had to be 5, given how many cells have to be lower. In fact, since we can't have 1 and 2 in this little diamond of lower cells, this is at least 6. But there, I have shot my bolt. There's a 5 in one of these two cells. That means there's a 5 definitely in one of these two. Actually, there was always a 5 definitely in one of these two. Now, if this was a 5, it doesn't really have a bearing on this. That's quite annoying. However, there are other things that happen. If this is a 5, that's a 6, that's a 3, and that's a 4. Which makes the circle 7, which makes this circle 9. And suddenly this, right, that doesn't work. That's quite a complicated chain, but I like it. So if this was a 5, no, I started here. If this was a 5, Yeah, this is important. If this was a 5, this would be a 6. That would be 3, and this would be 4. We'd get a 7 in the circle. Remember, we've got a 5 down here. That 7 would require this to be a 9, but we've got a 5 here. 5 plus the minimum 4 requires a 9 there, which would clash with the 9 there. That is quite a complicated but lovely chain. So anyway, the proof is that this cannot be a 5 here. Now we've got a 3-4 pair in the column. That's a 6. This is a 5, and that's got to be bigger than this cell, which is now a 4. Now these don't add up to a possible 9 here anymore. And I got that 4, but maybe I haven't actually resolved anything else for all that complicated work. I probably have, if I can figure it out. 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. We've got 6, 7, 8, 9 left in the box. Let's try it again. If this is a 7, that's a 9, this is a 6. I don't know what that does. Maybe it does something. It doesn't do it for me. 2 and 5 equals 7. 2 and 6 equals 8. 1, 7, 3, 4, 2. Looking down this column, there must be somewhere to attack here. I haven't looked at this fortress cell at all, or really this one. All I know is it can't be a 9. Oh, I've got a 7-8 pair in this row. Now, that means that the total of these 4 arrows is 15. So the total of those two is 9. It's either a 3-6 or a 4-5 pair. 7, 8, 2. Where does the 1 go in the row? It has to be in one of those two cells. Can't be in the fortress cell. There is also this digit. Where does that go in the row? That is going to be the next lowest digit in the row apart from the 1. So it still can't go in the fortress cell because we couldn't find 2 lower. So that digit is going in one of these two. And we've now got a 1, 3, 4 triple. We've got the other of 5 or 6, and we've got 9 left to place in the row. Can this be a 5? I don't really want to get involved in answering that question. Oh, this is quite a low fortress cell. What can go in this cell, which can't be 1, 2, 4, 5, or 6? This has to be lower than that. That is a really helpful cell to look at. That's a 3. We get a 1 here and a 3 there. Now, that 1 places our 1 down in box 9, which we just elaborately deduced was in one of those two cells. That fixes the 2-1 pair in box 6. We've probably got all the 1s in the grid. Oh, there's just 1 left to enter, and I can do it, and then I can finish off the box. That's going to be really helpful. Maybe I could have finished this ages ago. No, it was only when we finished those bits of row 3, wasn't it? Anyway, 4 now is looking at this. That's a 6. That's a 9. This is 7 or 8. We've got a 7-8 pair here and a 6-9 pair looking at this cell, which is a 7. Then we trace along its arrow and we can calculate 4 and 3. Now we can do the other arrows, 7, 8, 6. And we've done all the arrows in the puzzle. This is a 9 in the corner. And we can finish the box. This now has become a 5, and that's just the sort of information we want. A nice low fortress. That must be 2 or 3 above it. We've got a 4 in the corner. The bottom row is all done. This pair is a 5-4 pair. They're not resolved yet. Now, in this box, 2, 6, 8, 1, 4, the 5 is in one of those cells. The 9 is in one of those two. The 7's in one of those 3, but the 3... oh no, not quite, could be anywhere, is in one of those 3. Thrilling bit of pencil marking there, didn't really achieve anything. Now, this fortress can't be 1, 2, 3 in its box, 7, 9 in its row, 8 in its column. This is 4, 5, or 6. That's got to be higher than this, which is not 7 anymore. It's also got to be higher than this, which isn't 1 or 2 or 3. So this is 4 or 5, and the fortress is now 5 or 6. And that's a pair in column 6, and that's the last deduction I think we need. So now we get on with filling in Sudoku digits and enjoying ourselves. And oh look, I've just had this 5 and 6 sitting next to each other with one of them grey. That's how bad I am at Fortress, folks. Just can't spot this sort of thing. 6, 1, 4, 3, 2. This is an 8, 9 pair. This is a 5, 7 pair. This is a 3, 4, 5 triple, and we know where 4 goes. Then we know where 5 goes. Then we place 3. This, well, 9 or 8 is going to have to be in one of these 3 cells, and that's going to force the fortress to be at least an 8. In fact, 9 is going to have to be in one of these 3 cells by Sudoku. It's 9 and 8, not 9 or 8. So 9 is going to have to end up in the fortress this time. That's a 2, 8 and 3. This is just Sudoku. Let's look at this column, and then we can do anything we like after that, I imagine. No, we can't. We have to pick box 2, row 2, then row 1, then column 7, and then we can do anything we like. Surely we're finished now. 5, 4, 6, 8, 7. It's a lovely puzzle. Well done to Timotab and his son Fast Sandals. No surprise that 140 people have done it in 12 days. Fantastic. It's great fun. I don't, well, Medieval World War, because there's a lot of fortresses and arrows. Perfect. And a super puzzle, super debut. Thank you and happy birthday, Fast Sandals. Thank you for watching us. Hope you had fun with the puzzle and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.